Welcome to Daps Magic, the podcast. I'm Mr. Daps. Since 2004, Daps Magic has been a place for people to celebrate Disney and positive stuff. We've been having a blast doing that. We love Disney, we love people, and we love making new friends in the realm of Disney and positive stuff. That's what this podcast is all about. We have conversations that we hope will lead to deeper conversations with you, our friend, and our listener. We'd love to continue the conversation on social media, our Patreon, or even our Facebook group. We recognize that these conversations are much more fun when they're had with friends. We hope you will join them. We also hope that you will take a moment to leave us a positive review wherever you happen to be listening to Daps Magic, the podcast. On January 7th, 2025, two major fires broke out around Los Angeles. Thousands of people have lost their homes, property, loved ones, and even more have been displaced as the fires continue to ravage the area. Many people have stepped up to try and make a difference and help those who've been impacted by the firestorms. Jeff Gordon is one of those people. Jeff, a longtime Disney fan and all-around good guy, put together a fundraiser for the LA Regional Food Bank. This fundraiser has brought in thousands of dollars to date. It continues through January 20th, so there's still time to make a difference. We've included the link in the description. This also isn't the first fundraiser that Jeff has done, however. On this episode of Daps Magic, the podcast, we're going to talk to Jeff about his efforts to support those in need after the Los Angeles fires, some of his other fundraising efforts through the years, how he got started, and of course, we'll also talk about some Disney as well. Let's chat with Jeff. Well, welcome, Jeff. I'm so happy that you're on the podcast with me tonight. And first things first, we need to know, because you are one, your superhero origin story.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daps, for having me. My superhero origin story, I was born and raised in Southern California, in Santa Monica. I am a lifelong Disney fan. I used to tease my parents that I should have been born on Main Street, but my sister one time did not want to leave Main Street, so they had to call my dad out to pick her up. So I was hoping to be born on Main Street, but I've always enjoyed Disney theme parks, movies, animation, and I love traveling now, not just to the Disneyland that we know and love in Anaheim, but all over the world.
That is awesome. And then you obviously continued to love Disney through your adult life as well, but you've also shown, at least from what I've seen of you in the last few years, a real love for your fellow man. And that has led to the current fundraising efforts that you're doing right now. So could you tell me, how did you get going on this?
Well, I mean, it started back in 2020 during the peak of, or the start of COVID-19, and the parks were closed down and a lot of people were out of work. And, you know, we always know that food security is a problem here in the greater LA and Orange County region, but it was just amplified to the point where, you know, Anaheim's so dependent on tourism dollars and working. All these places were closed down, not just Disneyland, but the stadium workers, the mom and pop shops, the hotels. And I just, one day I said, hey, let me look for a food bank. And I found the Second Harvest Food Bank of Orange County. And I said, let's see how much we can raise. And the first year we did it, it was an outpouring of support, and it's really about just helping others when we can. And, you know, through the years, we've done 2 years with the Second Harvest Food Bank, and then there was Hurricane Ian, I don't know if you remember, in Florida, that impacted our Central Florida friends. Then we came back and did another year with, with Orange County again, because now we're dealing with inflation and the high cost of groceries. Mm-hmm. And then earlier this past year in 2024, we had Hurricane Milton, so we helped out again where we could. And right now, we're at the LA Regional Food Bank, helping people that have been impacted by the horrible, horrible devastation. The fires from all the way from Altadena to the Palisades and all over the greater Los Angeles area. It's just been really tragic, but it's also been a good sense of community to know that there's that support out there, not just within the greater Disney community, but, you know, people picking up shovels and cleaning up or organizing and doing their own part to make a difference.
And I really think that's been the fun thing to watch through all of these, is because out of these terrible situations and people are really struggling. What is it that Mr. Rogers says? Always look for the helpers. And you really see people like you and the people with the shovels and all of these people really come forward and come from completely different walks of life and come forward for a common goal that's going to help their fellow man. And I guess my question is, let's start with the LA fires and the food bank. How do you choose who you're going to support or what that cause is going to be?
Yeah, that's a good question. The LA Regional Food Bank is part of the Feeding America Network, which also Second Harvest Food Bank of Orange County, and the one in Orlando is also part of it. So we know they're a 501c. We know they're highly rated on Charity Navigator, and we know that they have the organizational skills, like in crises like this. Sure, this is unprecedented, but with a monetary donation, they know what they can do right away to give people groceries, to feed them meals, to give them support. And it's just, it's an easy way to structure it. And it's something that I know that the people who have donated know that they can put their trust in that donation to get to the right place. And that's how I chose them. I just went through, working with the fine folks out at Second Harvest in Orange County. I looked for the one that was most closely affiliated here in Los Angeles.
I love that. Do you pick the food-related nonprofits because that's such a basic universal need?
Yeah, I mean, when I started this in 2020, it really was a basic universal need, because I was hearing from cast members that they were struggling to make ends meet and just even put food on the table, and not just for themselves but for their families. So that's really what I want to go with. And food security is already bad in LA and Orange County, even without the pandemic and the fires and all the crises that keep hitting us, but it's amplified during a crisis like this, because now we have a long-term recovery to help people get back on their feet, to get employed again, all the businesses that were destroyed, and also to get back in their homes.
Yeah, absolutely. So why, you just gave some really good reasons, but why is it important for me and other people that see your posts on social media? Why should people support these efforts?
I mean, because we should all believe in the greater good and kindness, first of all, but anything that you do to help promote it does make a difference. If you can't donate, that's okay. But if you can share, that just helps amplify it to audiences that I may not be a part of, you may not be a part of, and that brings it up to other people who may be able to donate. And then again, every donation really counts. Like $1 donated usually means 3 meals for individual or a family. So $1, $5, $10, $100 or more, every donation, every dollar counts. So that's why it's important for people to get involved, because they can make a difference in small ways, just even by sharing a post or by donating $1 or $5.
Which really adds the context when in your post you're like, oh, we're $100 away from whatever milestone you're about to reach. Is what you're really saying is we're 300 meals away from the next level. Like that's a much bigger context when you think of it that way. That's really incredible. What keeps you going through all of these? Like, you've been doing this now, that's about 5 years, I guess. Like, what is that motivating factor that keeps you going?
I didn't realize it was 5 years, but I guess it has been since we first started doing this. It's been a long 5 years, but I think what keeps me going is that there is support from the community. We hear so much like online vitriol about hate and division and different things that are going on, but at the end of the day, like you said, we're all human, and we want to come together as a community, as a Disney community, as a larger community on the social medias that I post, whether it's on X, formerly Twitter, Blue Sky, on my own personal Facebook, our Instagram, and just let them know, like, hey, we can do this as a community, and we can we can make a difference. So that just kind of keeps me going, and it makes you know that there's other people out there that want to make a difference too.
Well, and especially right now, I agree with all of that. We're also hearing and seeing firsthand in a very different way, I feel like, the impact that these are having, like on both sides, the fire side impact and then also the food side impact? Because I mean, I'm in Orange County and I'm a little bit displaced from where all of this is happening, but even I know, a dozen people that lost their homes this last week or so, and I'm sure you know even more being closer to where this is actually happening. And so I guess could you tell us a little bit about, if you have it in your head, if you don't, it's fine, kind of the feelings you're seeing from people, the maybe if the stories in general, or if you have a specific of what you're seeing, like what is that hopelessness that you're adding, well, we're all adding hope to by supporting this effort?
I think the biggest thing I'm seeing is that, not just how devastating it was for Palisades and Altadena, the Eaton fire, it also impacted people that were surrounding the areas because they lost power. So I had somebody that reached out to me and told me that, they lost power and power didn't come back on 4 days, and they had just purchased groceries with their last paycheck. And, that was supposed to be enough to provide for the 2 weeks until they got paid again. But when you go 4 days, you can't use anything that's in the fridge or the freezer. So it all had to be thrown out, unfortunately. And they went down to the LA Regional Food Bank in person, and they were able to pick up, a set of groceries. And I had heard from somebody else today who went there and said that I'm literally homeless right now until I figure out where I'm going. But I was able to get some food at the LA Regional Food Bank. So hearing those stories, like you said, like there is a lot of hopelessness because you keep saying, well, why is this happening? How did it happen? All those things. But there's a lot of hope because LA has a big heart. Los Angeles has a big heart. California has a big heart. Orange County has a big heart. So seeing that, it gives you hope, and it gives you some sense of positivity that, as bad as it is right now, we can work together to make it better. So on our end, if we can work together to help provide more security for people to get food, that's great. And there's other charities and organizations out there that are helping them rebuild, helping them with shelter. So all of them working in tangent together gives a lot of, people should be very excited that, we have that heart, we have that grit, we have that resiliency.
Absolutely. It kind of also just brought up another question as you were talking about that is, this fundraiser in particular goes through the 20th. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So knowing you, there's probably going to be something on the horizon. Who knows what it will be? But my question is like, do you have any like plan or vision or like big ideas of like, this is what you would like to see this community of support? Because I often see when we've seen you do these fundraisers, there's some similar, I feel like there's some similar screen names that I see popping up that are always kind of like right there ready to go and help you. Like, do you have any kind of an idea of where this could go and what it could do?
We were very lucky and blessed to have somebody that was a matching donor for a long time. I don't think they're on social media anymore. And when they donated anonymously. So if there are any people that want to be matching donors, I'm the gigantic big Mickey ears. I'm all ears to listen. So we're just doing this, again in small increments and large donations, and in any way we can to help is what's important. I matching donors are nice. I know through the actual food bank, when you make your donation, they check to see if your employer does match. So I had somebody that contacted me. They work for Google, and they were able to, triple that donation. And Disney also does matching donations, and they also did donate money as well. And LA Regional Food Bank was one of those recipients, which they're very grateful for as well.
Oh, that's really great. And I believe Starbucks does the same thing from having raised money for chalk with Starbucks employees through the years. What's the hardest thing for you that people can help with?
I think the hardest thing for me is that, I live, I work in Santa Monica, and I just came back from a remote to a physical location because we were remote last week due to the horrible air quality. And also much of Santa Monica was either under evacuation order or warning for the Palisades fire. So I wish I could be on X or Blue Sky all day and post and tweet at celebrities and get them to retweet, which they do, or sports reporters or news people. I just get out there, but just to share, just continue to share and post about it. Even you're posting and quote tweeting and saying something small or something hopeful, I think is important, and letting literally a dollar does count, because that provides meals right away, or that provides a bag of groceries. So I think that's the most important thing. Like I really do wish as much time as I put into this, and I try to post as much as often and send direct messages to many Twitter followers.
You do,
and luckily none of them have blocked me, but I'd send it to them. But just to promote and amplify as much as you can, and if you can't donate, that's totally okay. It's a hard time right now, even as we just started 25, it's a hard time for everybody. But, just sharing, and maybe there's somebody out there that contribute a little bit to the difference.
Absolutely. And I just would love for people to, I hope they're picking up what I know about you is Jeff is one of the kindest people you're ever going to meet. And you are always the first one to step in and help people when they need it, and to offer a word of encouragement. And you are just a bright ray of positivity in the Disney, and we're going to call it the Disney and positive stuff community, because that's our realm. That's what we aim for. But it's absolutely amazing watching you step up every time there's something like this happening, and seeing you just help people. Like, it's very inspiring, and it's very fun to watch, and it's very humbling to get to be a part of it in some little way that we do everything we can to support you. And if you didn't do
really
such a great job in your current career,
we want to say since 2020, including at last check, we've raised nearly $80,000 for food security
amazing.
In LA, Orange County, and Central Florida with the hurricane. So we really are making amazing. A difference. I know it seems like, the food security need is high in general, just because things, cost of living is high where we live, and people have to work sometimes 2 jobs just to make ends meet. But when there is a disaster, when there's a crisis, people come through time and again in this community and beyond the community, which is great, which is just so great to see.
And we just need the community bigger,
and hopefully we'll go beyond it.
Yeah. But it really is inspiring to see, and you do such a phenomenal job raising money for people. And we do have the link for where people can donate to this specific cause in the description, and we'll also put your socials, if that's okay with you, Jeff, in the description as well, so people can follow and amplify your message. And because I think it's just very important. And you're not just spamming people. You're actually connecting, like, this is what we're doing. This is where we're at. This is where we're going. And I think that makes it more of a mission as opposed to something that you just have to do. Like, it makes it's exciting. And hearing $80,000 in 5 years, that's incredible. Like, that's amazing. Like that's hat tip to you, because I'm so blown away by that, and thank you for leading on this and helping so many people. We do have to talk about. I
appreciate that. I know they say we will. I know it says how we hear in Disney, it all starts with the mouse. It all started with a tweet, and then we went from there. So, or an X post, whatever they call it these days.
Whatever they are, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's always going to be a tweet to me, I think. But it's there's something iconic about Twitter and a tweet. And it brought so many people together. I could go on all night on that one too. Let's take a sidestep, and I want to learn a little bit more about you for our listeners, Jeff, about you and Disney. Is that okay?
Sounds good with me.
All right. So my very first question, which you might have answered when you're telling us your origin story, is what is your very first Disney memory?
I can remember back to when I was 3. I have a very good memory photographic. So I think it was Disneyland in 1983. And that was just like on the precipice of when like New Fantasyland was opening. So I have so many memories at Disneyland in Anaheim, and it always has a special place in my heart as being the original.
And do you have like that first like moment that like really stands out at you? Maybe it's seeing a castle, maybe it's seeing Electric Parade, whatever.
Oh, Electrical Parade, I know a lot of people are very excited for Paint the Night to come back, but I love the Electrical Parade, and I know it's sitting somewhere in a warehouse, and hopefully it will make its triumphant return for another anniversary celebration soon. But
I have
Electrical
zero
Parade
doubt.
has always brought great memories. It was tied to usually around when my birthday is in May, so it's always a good time. Like when you're going to see it with your family or friends, I would love just even my bar mitzvah music when I entered as a grand entrance was the Electrical Parade coming in. So
Nice. Which is funny because that my first memory of Disney is Pete's Dragon in the Electrical Parade. And I was probably 5 or 6 at the time because that was my first visit because we didn't live down here. But I agree with you. I'm all on board with the Electrical Parade. So you've gotten to travel around the world, and I've loved watching you go to different Disney theme parks. I think you already answered this one, but I pre-wrote it, so I'm going to ask you anyway. In fact, I know you answered it. Give us a more in-depth reason of why Disneyland is your favorite park. Actually, let's switch it. What's your favorite international Disney theme park and why? How's that?
ooh, that's a tough one.
Uh-huh.
So I've been lucky to go to Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea, as well as Disneyland Paris and Studios Park. I think they're going to call it Disney Adventure World. Who knows? But I haven't been to Shanghai or Hong Kong yet. But I probably say there's nothing like Tokyo Disney Sea. And I know you hear that a lot. I know a lot of people say, well, there's nothing like
true.
it. But you go in there and you just are blown away by the scope and the scale of so many things that Disney Sea does. And you can get lost, even though you may not ride many attractions sometimes, you can just get lost in there and eat a meal and just kind of people watch. And there's nothing as special as that. I do give a shout out to Disneyland Paris, brilliant castle, Big Thunder Mountain, top in the world. But Tokyo Disney Sea definitely is the best.
I completely agree with you. So, what is your favorite Disney attraction of all time?
Well, I may have given it away a little bit, but I'm a Big Thunder Mountain Railroad super fan. I love that attraction.
And is Disneyland's version your favorite, or?
No, right now it's Paris because just the way the darkness and being in an island and the way it ends, it just feels a lot faster and more thunderous than maybe our counterpart out in Anaheim.
And you go under the rivers of America.
Exactly. In darkness.
Uh-huh. It's so cool. I think I would agree with you on that one.
Very exciting.
You've kind of answered this one already as well, but why do you love Disney so much?
Well, it's a good question. I guess I could say we were a Disney family. Like growing up with my mom and my dad and my sister, we would just go to Disney a lot, and it brought back a lot of good, strong family memories. And then I was able to, take my cousins and other family members and make great friends within the Disney community. So it just brings a lot of joy and it gives a lot of hope and inspiration. Things that have been there since day one, since 1955, like joy, hope, and inspiration. It's supposed to be a place where you can escape the real world. You can come in, even if you don't go for the day, you come in for a few hours and you can hang out, decompress, enjoy the parks. And I think that's what makes Disney, that's the Disney difference really, because it's just that magical experience. It's hard to explain to people who are not Disney fans. They kind of look at you like you're what, but it is a Disney difference. And I've converted some of them too. So that's great.
Well done. I completely agree with you. It's the reprieve from the daily life and the daily grind, and it's something completely different. All right, last one might be really hard or it might be really easy. What's your favorite Disney snack?
Whew, that's a hard one. I'll admit it because I do like to snack. I'm a grubber, so I do like to snack. In Anaheim, it's all about the churros. I just love trying different flavors of churros, especially around the festival times when they mix it up, Halloween time and the festival holidays. So the churros are great, but definitely churros. And then I think in Orlando, It's a kind of a citrus whip or something. I don't remember the citrus swirl.
Yeah.
And that's really great. Citrus roll, and especially being so hot and humid in Florida, I could go through like 6 of those, and it's, I need it
easily. Thank you for listening to this episode of Daps Magic, the podcast. Please take a moment to support Jeff's efforts as he supports those who are struggling because of the LA fires. This could be financially, or this could just be helping get the word out. Every little bit helps, and help is really what is needed right now. As we look forward this year, there are some exciting things coming to Daps Magic and also this podcast. We have some ideas that we think are great, and we hope that you will too. If you have any of your own ideas, please let us know. We don't think any one person holds all the cards with all good ideas. Also, if you'd like to get some behind-the-scene looks and access with me and the Daps Magic team, we'd love to connect with you on our Patreon. Check it out at patreon.com/dapsmagic. We have a lot of fun over there, and also have some Patreon-exclusive stuff that happens, like a Patreon-exclusive show before Geeks Corner each week called Behind the Scenes. We literally just enjoy sharing life and chatting with our members during this show generally, and we'd love to see you there. Thank you again for listening to Daps Magic, the podcast. I appreciate you, your friendship, and your support for Jeff and his efforts for those who've been so severely impacted by the LA fires. I hope that you will make it a fantastic week and keep kind.